Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. The game's pretty boring. You can watch both me and the game. All right, so guess what? We could have our biggest snow in the last 3 years, and this map is kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? The white, that's the winter storm warnings. Normally, that's north of town. This time, it's Montgomery County, Fairfax, D.C., and south of town. That's where the bullseye is going to be. Advisories go up into Frederick County and Loudoun County, essentially 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Monday. The real bulk of the snowfall will be, at least in the metro area, about 6 a.m. to about noon, and about 6 a.m. to about 3 p.m. down into southern Maryland. So you folks in Charles County, St. Mary's County, and Calvert County, we don't say this often, you're the bullseye. How about that? All right, let me show you the models, and this is crazy. This is what we have to deal with to come up with our own little forecast. So 11 inches graph, 7 inches NAM, 12 inches GFS, 7 inches GEM, 10 inches European. Okay? So that is if every little flake stuck. That's not really taking into account our temperatures in the 60s the past couple of days, the warm ground, and the melting. Yeah, yes, we'll get some heavy bands of snow. We'll be able to overcome the melting, but still, that's a little high. Don't really like that. Now, let me show you what we're thinking, all right? We're thinking D.C. and south to La Plata and Fredericksburg, 4 to 6 inches, and then 6+, southern Calvert, most of St. Mary's across the bay into the Delmarva. As you go north and west, it's less snow. I know, counterintuitive, 2 to 4. Front Royal, Leesburg, Gaithersburg, Rockville, Bethesda. Only 1 to 2, Martinsburg and Frederick and Hagerstown and across into Pennsylvania. And quite frankly, that may be a little too far north. This could be one of those cases where we're going to have a very, close line of demarcation between heavy snow and very little snow. But again, all the models, even though they're kind of running crazy numbers, are all saying the bullseye will be south and east of town. So the impacts, yes, we have a yellow weather alert, no surprise there. So low wind chills high. We got a gale warning on the bay. Snowy at the bus stop high. Wet paws high. Oh yeah, get the dog towels out. Slick roads high. I know it doesn't seem like it's possible, but with some heavy snow and temperatures below or at freezing by dawn tomorrow, the roads will become slick very quickly, a little quicker than you might think. Okay, I'd like to welcome our Facebook viewers now. I guess maybe you can go, I said this to the YouTube folks, you're watching the game. Game's boring. You can watch both, me and the game. So as I mentioned earlier, it could be our biggest snow in 3 years. Here is the radar, and here is the storm taking shape down to the south as cold air begins to move in from the north. Now, let's kind of get a little closer view. Yeah, Raleigh, Charlotte, some light rain. Nothing in the immediate metro area except for a stray sprinkle right now. So the timeline, overnight, rain changes to snow after midnight, but temps are above freezing overnight. So if you have to do some late driving, temps will be warm enough, the roads will be just wet. But by Monday morning, now we get into snow heavy at times, especially south and east, and 1 inch to the north and 6 inches to the south, and now some temperatures are going to be at freezing. So snowy and cold at the bus stop, plan on a wet/slick and slow commute to work on Monday. That's if you have school at all, kids. All right, and I know it's kind of a bummer because some of the schools are closing and going virtual. That's just not right. We should have a snow day, okay? Monday afternoon, snow ends, cold, slick spots for the commute home. Don't see anything falling from the sky, temps below freezing, okay? And again, south and east of town, the snow may hang on till maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, St. Mary's County and Calvert County, but you're going to see sunshine in Frederick probably by the time we get to 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then Monday night, clear and cold, more slick spots. Look at these temperatures, 18 to 26. I may have to even lower that a little bit. One of our colder nights. We have clear skies and the winds die down. And with snowpack, that even allows more heat to escape into the atmosphere. 11 o'clock tonight, temps are falling pretty good. 46 in D.C., but already 40 in Gaithersburg, 38 in Hagerstown. Now, by morning, 4 o'clock, pretty good snows across the entire DMV, but what's going to save us early on is 38 degrees in D.C., 35 in Andrews, 37 in Fredericksburg. Not going to see a lot of accumulation. A little bit of grassy surfaces. But as you get up toward Frederick and Hagerstown, temperatures closer to freezing. Let's stop it now at 7 a.m. Now we're 30 in Gaithersburg, 32 in Leesburg, and 32 in Andrews. Now, northeast winds, pretty good thumping of snow here, and the darker the blue is the heavier band of snow. Notice it shuts off kind of up near Cumberland. That's at 7 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, still some pretty good snow going on. Temperatures again, upper 20s to around 32. So it's going to get slippery pretty quickly as we go through the morning hours on Monday. But by 2 o'clock, boom, sun in Frederick, a little bit of snow left over in southern Maryland. This model may be taking out just a little bit fast, but all in all, I kind of agree with that. Certainly east of I-95 by 2 o'clock. And then by 4 o'clock, 4:30, we're clear. Temperatures, again, around freezing. So temps aren't going to go up tomorrow. If you get up and it's snowing and it's 37, say 7 o'clock, by 10 o'clock it's going to be snowing in like 32. So temperatures are going to fall all day tomorrow. And again, by tomorrow night, 10, 30 temps in the 20s. We're headed for the teens in most spots in the burbs. All right, that map I just showed you, this is the numerical output. Hope you're sitting down. 11 inches D.C., 15 Andrews, 13 Fredericksburg, only 0.9 in Hagerstown. So this map, I agree with the fact that it's still south and east of D.C. I like that. I like that it carries some snow up into Frederick, but I think the numbers are just too high. I really do. So let me show you some other ones. This is kind of cool. This is okay. So this I kind of like. This is the HER. It's a model that updates every hour. 5 inches D.C., 8 inches in La Plata, 8 to 9 in Fredericksburg. That looks to me more reasonable. But notice how quickly the snow decreases. Nothing in Hagerstown, less than half an inch in Frederick, but 3 inches in Gaithersburg and 5 inches downtown. That's what I mean. It's going to be very, very tight gradient, if you will, of big-time snow and not much snow at all, really. But everybody's in agreement. The heaviest snowfall will be south and east of D.C. Okay, so that was the HER. Now, let's talk about the NAM, which I like as a model. Look at look at this. Look at how tight the gradients are here. Nothing in Frederick, but 8 inches in D.C., only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in Gaithersburg. 9 in Andrews, 11 in La Plata, 11 in Fredericksburg. Okay, but again, I think this is not taking into account the melting that's going to go on. It's going to take a while to get things going in southern Maryland. It's been too warm. All right, so that's through 5 o'clock tomorrow. Crazy numbers too on the Delmarva, by the way. I mean. 14 in Georgetown, 13.9 in Salisbury. That's kind of crazy. Here's another one. It's our friend, the Euro. This has almost 5 inches as far north as Frederick and 10 inches in D.C. And I will just say from experience, I think we're going to see the snow a little farther north than some of the models indicate. But I still like the bullseye, Charles County, down to Fredericksburg, even into St. Mary's County. All right, one more. The American model, GFS. 13 in D.C., 15 in Andrews, 15 in Fredericksburg, 3 as far north as Frederick, and 7 as far north as Gaithersburg. Just think these numbers are too high to the south and east. I think they're a little too high to the north as well. But I like the fact that it does have snow right along the Maryland-PA border, about 1 inch or so. So that's what we're thinking. So obviously a yellow weather alert Monday. Heavy snow in the morning, temps falling. Cold on Tuesday but dry. More refreezing Tuesday night. Chilly on Wednesday. Temperatures back into the mid-40s. Now, we get into Thursday, just cold and dry. Really cold Friday. Another shot of cold air comes in here, 35. Right now I think it's going to stay dry. Some models are hinting at another little system, but right now we'll keep it dry. Chilly on Saturday. Milder on Sunday. Rain. Temperatures around 50 on Sunday. I'm going to stop for a second. Emily, any questions on Facebook? Okay, good. You're welcome. Sierra said that? Thank you, Sierra. That's right. Yeah. If you see me in on a Sunday night, cutting my vacation short, you know it's pretty serious, yes. Yeah, I'm going to pull the breadometer out. I think I'll pull it out at 11 o'clock. Haven't decided how far to go just yet, but okay, sure. What do some folks want? Giovanni in Gaithersburg wants to know, well, we have you in essentially the 2 to 4 band, and I may up that a little bit at 11 o'clock tonight when new data comes in. But right now it's 2 to 4 for like Montgomery County and Loudoun County. And then you get into, D.C. south and east 4 to 6. And then, you get into this area, southern Maryland, and it's just 6 plus. King George is also in the winter storm warning. And yes, 6 plus in King George. It's just going to take a little longer to get that snow accumulating down here, which is why I think the numbers on the computer models are a little high. Inflated. Jack wants to know, does Mount Airy get any chance if it gets more than 4 to 5 inches? Bad news, Jack. I don't think you're going to get 4 to 5 inches. I think we have you in like the 1 to 2, maybe 2 to 3 inch band right now. So here are the warnings. You're under an advisory, just barely. But notice the warnings are south and east of town. That is so unusual. If you've spent any length of time in D.C., you know that it's usually flipped. And the warnings are north. We're always talking about, oh, colder air, Hagerstown, Frederick, Cumberland. Not this guy. Yeah, the colder air is there. The moisture's not. Look at these numbers, though. Graph, 11 inches. NAM, 7. 12, GFS, 7, GEM. Almost 11 inches with the European. And again, that's that case where it's saying every flake counts. Now, here's something I'll tell you that I've had conversations with the Weather Service. Snow is measured every 6 hours, okay? So it snows, say, from 6 a.m. to noon. So they measured at noon. Well, it may have melted. A lot of snow may have fallen and melted, between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So it's one of those cases where, if nobody's there, does the tree make noise? If they were to measure snow every hour, then and sweep the board, then we'd probably have more snow. So it's a very tough forecast in terms of accumulating how much is going to end up on the grass, how much is going to end up on the roads, and when it's going to finally start accumulating because it's been so darn warm. I think I mentioned this earlier. I walked out the paper yesterday. There were night crawlers on my driveway. When you see night crawlers on your driveway, those are worms, you know nothing's happening winter-wise. Yet. All right. Here's what we're thinking, Jack. We've got you 1 to 2, 2 to 4 in Mount Airy. That's it. Leesburg, Gaithersburg, 2 to 4. Fairfax, right on the cusp, 2 to 4. But Southern Fairfax, we think it's 4 to 6 or more. And also Prince George's County kind of split. 2 to 4 north, maybe Bowie kind of on the border there, but south, I think 4 to 6 is a good bet. And there's your 6 plus band. What I may have to do, if I see some more models come in, I may have to bring this 6 plus up to La Plata and maybe back to include Fredericksburg. And I'm just kind of hesitant doing that because it's just so darn warm. It's just going to take a while to get things cranking. But I think everybody's going to see some pretty impressive bands of snow tomorrow. I, for one, am kind of excited about that. I know. Hope you are too. So, yeah, yellow weather alert Monday. No surprise there. High impact, low wind chills, snowy at the bus stop if you have school. High, wet paws. Get the dog towels out. Yeah. And slick roads, high. I know that sounds crazy, but roads will deteriorate very quickly tomorrow morning. I think by the time we're looking at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, most folks are at or below freezing already and not going to go up much during the day, if at all. Here's the radar. I meant to fix this. It should be looping, but it's not. So this is a snapshot in time right now. Look at the snow. On the northern fringe of that, Nashville and across up toward Kentucky, not far from Lexington and London, Kentucky. Still rain in Knoxville. So one reason we're kind of confident is that we see the cold air running in on schedule, and we see the storm already develop. This is going to intensify overnight, and we're going to track it as it moves across the Carolinas out to sea. It's not going to go up the coast. It will go straight on out northeastward. So a lot of times we have to, wait for a storm to develop and intensify and then give us the snow. And if it develops 50 miles farther north, we don't get anything. So at least we already see moisture, and we know the storm is coming. It's going to go over Knoxville tonight, kind of move across Raleigh, and then maybe out toward sea, maybe passing, probably just south of Norfolk. So right now we have some rain also in Raleigh, down towards Charlotte, a little bit of rain in Danville. All right, so what does that mean for us? Overnight, rain changes to snow. Lows are going to be above freezing for the time being. But by morning, temperatures are going to be around freezing, and that's when we have heavy snow, especially south and east. And we're looking at 1 to 6 inches south. Again, snowy and cold at the bus stop, and just plan on a wet and or slick commute. It'll be slow either way, depending on where you are. If you have to get into work early from southern Maryland, it'll probably just be wet roads until about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, unless we get that burst of snow with that slush developing. But by the time we get to evening, everybody's going to have some problems with freezing, whether it be refreezing or just freezing for the first time. By the afternoon, the snow ends, again, pretty early north and west. 6 spots, though, for the commute home. Temps at or below freezing. And then By Monday night, clear, very cold, more slick spots, and at least 18 to 26. I may have to open that range up a little bit. We're going to have snow cover, clear skies, winds will diminish, and there will be some winds tomorrow. There's a gale warning on the bay. Maybe I go 16 to 26. We'll look at that before the 11 o'clock show tonight. So, Futurecast. 11 o'clock tonight, it's already 40 in Gaithersburg. Hello, look at the arrows, strong north wind. There's the precip, already kicking and mixing to snow out toward Luray and Petersburg, but surface temperatures above freezing. That's going to cut down on the initial accumulation. And even by Monday at 4 o'clock in the morning, so tomorrow morning early, and we start tomorrow, news will start tomorrow at 4 o'clock, in the 30s and above freezing. So it's going to take a while, which is why these computer numbers are a bit inflated. If we were cold, if we had Arctic air in place and we had snow coming, then those numbers wouldn't be so crazy. By 7 o'clock, now we got near 32 in Manassas, still 35 in D.C., still above freezing in Fredericksburg. So, and still 35 in Patuxent River. This is going to really cut down on your snowfall, okay? And the snow goes back, although light, out toward Hagerstown. Darker the bands, okay, heavier snow. Now, if you guys see snow tomorrow, if you're home, whether, because of the snow or you're just home anyway, send us a picture, okay? Hashtag WSA9 weather, and we'd love to see it. If you want to put a little ruler in the snow and kind of zoom in, great. Want to give us a beauty shot? Great. You can give us a short video, nothing crazy, maybe nothing. Keep it under 30 seconds if you have some good snow, falling snow or road conditions. Again, hashtag WSA9. Okay. Now, by 10 o'clock, we still have pretty good snows. Winds are veering more out of the north now as the storm begins to pull away. Temps now, even into Fredericksburg, is 31 and 30 in Andrews. So now you're going to get some accumulating snow down here, but you've missed a little bit because of your warm start, so to speak. By 2 p.m., clearing to the north and west. This may be a tiny bit fast. Still some good snows in southern Maryland and into the northern neck and across the bay into the Delmarva. Crazy. By 4:30, everything's pretty much gone. And then it just gets cold. Temps in the 20s by 10 o'clock, headed for the teens in the burbs. All right, so here's the numerical map of that map I just showed you. 11 inches in D.C., I don't think so. 14 in La Plata, 13 in Fredericksburg. Again, if you add up all the liquid moisture that's available and potentially falling, yeah, these numbers would make sense, but again, we have had no cold air in place. So a lot of these flakes, sad, aren't going to make it, okay? Now, the HER, this is a rapid model. I really like this model. This, I think, is the most reasonable. I really do. 3 inches as far north as Gaithersburg. I like that. Nothing in Hagerstown. I could see is maybe up to an inch in Hagerstown, but notice, how we get this very clear picture of the heavier snow south and east of town. 8 inches, 9 inches in Fredericksburg, 8 inches in La Plata. So I could see that. And 3.5 in Leesburg. I could see that. That's the HER. Now, this is the NAM model, North American model, which I like too. This has 0 in Frederick. Notice how tightly compressed the bands are, okay? So 8 inches in D.C. and only 2, less than 2 in Gaithersburg, and 11 in La Plata, 11 in Fredericksburg. That's possible. It might be a little robust. I think in this particular case, this model's a little too far south. I like at least an inch in Frederick, and I think I like at least 2 in Gaithersburg. But the numbers to the south aren't completely out of the question. Now, European model. This has got almost 5 inches in Frederick. This is much further north, and 11 inches in D.C., about 12 inches in Fredericksburg, and 10 inches in Cambridge. Okay, that's our friend, the European model, which had a horrible winter last winter. If you remember, I broke up with it on social media. Yeah. By 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, this is the GFS. This is our American model. And so this has got 14 in Manassas, 15 in Fredericksburg, 15 in Cambridge. I mean, it's just going hog wild. And this model, too, does have pretty good snows north. Has 7 in Gaithersburg and 3 in Frederick. I think that might be a little too far north, and these numbers, again, I think they're too high, but the general consensus of all the models, snow's coming, heaviest snow Monday morning, bullseye south and east of town. We can pretty much agree on that. Any questions? And while I have these up. Evangeline, a heavy wet or a drier snow? You know what? It's going to kind of transition. It will be a heavy wet snow to start, But as the atmosphere cools and the surface cools, it'll become a little drier. But all in all, it'll be perfect for snowballs. Well, Patrick's wondering if we're going to go to a winter storm warning for Loudoun County. Patrick, I was kind of surprised they didn't include it or split it, because they can split, Loudoun County. We'll see what happens with the new guidance. They did change it from I think I was working on the forecast at 10:30, and they did not have Montgomery County, and then at noon or something they did. They may tweak it again. We'll see it all depends on the new models. The new models come in tonight, and they're the same or maybe, a little more robust to the north and west. I would not be surprised to see Loudoun County added to the winter storm warning. Yes. Recap. Okay, so we got the morning snow Monday, tapering off in the afternoon. Just cold on Tuesday, more refreezing Tuesday night, and just chilly on Wednesday. Now, I'm going to keep for the time being, and I'll look at this before 11 o'clock, I'm going to keep it just cold and dry Thursday, Friday. We've got a system passing to our north on Wednesday, brings up some milder air, and then the Arctic air returns. So right now, I think it's going to be dry. But watch that, because it's plenty cold. And then chilly on Saturday, and next Sunday, just milder with some rain. That's what we're looking at. So, so even though it ends tomorrow afternoon, please be careful walking and driving Monday night and Tuesday night. It's going to refreeze again. The difference between the models, okay. Well, let's just get through this, and I'll work my way to the models. That's a good question. I'll show you a graph form. It has all the models for just one location, DCA. This is counterintuitive. Got the winter storm warning south and east, advisories north and west. That's very, very unusual. It goes into effect 1 a.m. tomorrow morning to 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So here are the models requested. So here we go. Same location, National Airport. Graph, 11 inches. That is our new private model. North American model, 7 inches. Global Forecasting System, another American model, 12 inches. GEM, Canadian, 7 inches. European, almost 11 inches. But again, the numbers are so high because I think they're just not able to take into account the melting and the warm ground. There's certainly the potential in terms of liquid. If you take the liquid amount of precipitation that's going to fall and convert it to snow, this is essentially what you're getting. They're not really that good yet at saying, hey, oh yeah, it's been in the 60s, it's going to melt for the first 3-4 hours, we're going to throw that out, so we're going to take 80% of our original estimate. And I think that's really more like it. I think if you took 75% of all these numbers, you'd have a much better idea of how much it's going to fall. Of course, you have to figure out which model you prefer. Here's what we've come up with, and I drew this morning about 10:30, 11 o'clock with Mary. And yes, I may tweak this. I'm not going to tweak it a couple of times. I won't tweak it until 11 o'clock tonight. 1 to 2 inches, Frederick, Martinsburg, Hagerstown, North. Okay, 2 to 4 inches, Luray, Front Royal, Leesburg, Fairfax, Rockville, Gaithersburg, Bethesda, and D.C. But, right southern D.C. and the airport, we got 4 to 6 band, and that includes Fredericksburg. And then 6 plus, Tappahannock, Patuxent River, St. Mary's County, Calvert County, across the bay. As I mentioned earlier, I may bring this band up a little bit, and I may bring this band, feather this band up a little bit, the 4 to 6 band. It's going to be really tough as to the official snowfall amount because they measure snow every 6 hours and it might melt, and so 6 inches may fall, but they may measure 4. And it's going to be a case where it's not going to be on the roads at first, but then it will be on the roads. So we have a yellow weather alert for Monday. Low wind chills, impact, yes. Snowy at the bus stop if you have school. Wet paws, high, yeah, get the dog towels out and slick roads. Yes, the roads will become slick. They'll become slushy at first, and then the untreated roads by afternoon, north and west of town, even D.C., will be crunchy. It'll be around freezing. It's a pretty cold air mass. Here's our storm. It's already developed. That's what I like about it. I'm not waiting for this to develop off the coast, trying to figure out will it develop off the coast of Norfolk or Atlantic City or Ocean City. We got it. Going to track essentially through the Tennessee Valley tonight. So there's your rain, Charlotte, Raleigh. Pretty quiet in the immediate metro area right now. So the timing. Overnight rain changes to snow, lows above freezing. So roads will not be a problem until after 6 a.m. Visibility may be a problem in some of the heavier bands at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, but the roads should not be a problem. But by morning, so 6 a.m. to noon, Snow heavy at times, especially south and east. An inch north, but 6 inches plus south. So snow and cold at the bus stop, and either wet or a slick commute. Either way, it'll be a slow morning commute on Monday. Yeah, Happy New Year. By afternoon, snow ends, cold, but still slick spots for the commute home, and then temperatures will be below freezing just about everywhere. So I'm really concerned about slick spots Monday afternoon and Monday night. So if you're, walking around, please be careful. It's black ice will be around, especially Monday night late. More slick spots, 18 to 26 degrees. So that's what we're thinking. Again, we're going to have rain develop overnight. It kicks the snow pretty quickly. But notice the temperatures are above freezing. That's what's going to delay and affect the accumulation. And that's why it's so hard. By 7 o'clock, I think we're going to see some accumulating snow just because temps are near freezing and it's just going to be heavy. And heaviest snowfall 6 a.m. to about midday. Still pretty good snows. Gaithersburg down to the 20s by 10 o'clock. So is Leesburg. But by 2 o'clock, it's pretty much gone. All right, so that's what we're thinking. We'll try to do this again tonight, maybe at 9:45 when I have new data. And again, I may be tweaking the snowfall map. But right now, that's on the website. And we also have a story on a timeline on our website as well, WSA9.com. Any other real quick questions, Am, I can answer? Okay, question is, how long does it take the ground temperatures to sync with the air temperature? The ground temperature is measured 4 inches below the surface, so a long time. So what will happen with a case like this is the ground will still be radiating heat from underneath, but it will begin to be right around freezing and then eventually kind of crust over at the surface. But the technical ground temperature, because it's below the surface, will remain above freezing for a long time, probably until we get into Tuesday night, after one night in the 20s, teens and 20s, and one day barely around 40, and then another night in the 20s. It takes a while. And that's, again, why it's kind of tricky to get, as it snows and it's getting colder, we're still getting heat from the earth. And that is going to cut down on some of the accumulations as well. Good question. Anything else, Sam? Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. Again, send us pictures, hashtag WSA9 weather, and we'll put them on. And hope to see you later tonight, if not after 11 o'clock or after, depending how late we are because of the game. Thanks.